you guys hear me in YouTube land? Just let me know. I'm trying to get this camera going. It's of course not working as usual. If you can hear me, Dan, not sure, but it's just every week.
CW short anchored.
Alright, I can't get the camera going, but you got some. Alright, I'll be back in a minute with the after the disclaimer.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit by losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in Wholesale Set Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Alright, one second guys, I'm trying to get this camera going because everyone has to see my pretty face. But it's not working as usual.
NQ stock by NQ, 164 contracts.
There you go. It should be working. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright. Doesn't really matter. Just got something in Nasdaq. I'm long Russell. A couple of strategies. I was short Nasdaq. Got out. This moved down. We'll go over that trade. We do have a buy stop event. This is a potential sexy Gexie. So these are trades I'll enter right in the middle of the zone. This is a short here. I'll take that. So we'll be going over multiple strategies today. I'll explain what's going on in this chart. Like I post a chart and I get just ripped on Twitter like that's a monstrosity. What is all that? Blah blah blah. If you know what you're looking at, it's actually not. It's nothing as far as it's not that complicated. But I'll go over it. Anyway, this trade is moving to Gex levels. I got Method Q Gex levels here and SpotGamma. There was also a hero alert a little bit ago. This thing has been just running the show. I put some Twitter tweets or X tweets yesterday, or whatever the hell they call them now. X's. What do they call it when you tweet on X now? Not sure. Anyway, this thing has been dominating the price movement. It's just, especially at the slow hours, 10:30 to 12:30 Central. It's just every day. They manipulate every single day. It's just a change in guard, right? Back in the day, it used to be a couple guys that would be, big traders that would be running the show. They would start to play games because the big money goes to lunch. Now it's the let's load up the options dealers because they have to hedge, and then it's ridiculous. We'll get over it. I'll be bitching about it all webinar because it's insanity what's going on. Anyway, there was a flow alert. Usually when the purple or blue, whatever color this is, that's the options activity. Usually when you get the flow, it means a huge options orders are coming in. So when this levels out, the market turns around. That's exactly what happened down there. I gotta put this stop in case this rips up on me. I am long Russell, so I need to keep an eye on where I'm gonna get out of some of those. Of course, Russell's always got to do its own thing. It, like, never, almost ever follows the ES or NQ anymore. It's usually opposite, which is quite odd. But I know they're different stocks, but it's, you'd think overall it would follow. Oh yeah, there's my pretty face. All right, so I'm long here, Russell. Two different strategies. So Russell came in here. I was ready to short this puppy. You got a balance from yesterday, 2 buying tails and a balance. Broke out, came back, retested with a volume event, basically into this inflection zone that I had drawn here. That's what I look for. So all my strategies are just my important areas where I look for these stop iceberg events, which is the most powerful thing I've ever seen in futures trading. That's why it's the driver of my trading. So the market came in here, I got a volume event, I went long that. I also went long on Algo. I should be long pick too, but I just missed that guy. I could still put it on, I guess, but these are the Russell trades I have on right now. And I caught those shorts in Nasdaq. We'll go over that. So anyway, this is the second most powerful thing. Well, it used to be the second most powerful thing. Now the second most powerful thing, and it's the options activity and the flow alerts and the Gexie levels. But anyway, these are Ludwig levels. Here, I'll share this flip book with you guys, and then we'll go over it. Let me put this in here, and then we'll go over the new flow patrol from SpotGamma too. It's very interesting. It was not short today, the technology stuff, and we did sell off. Hold on, let me. So this, I'll put all the stuff in the YouTube channel. That's that, and then we'll go over the other stuff. Flow patrol. Anyway, these are Ludwig levels. That's in the back of this stuff here. Where is that? Right here. So second most powerful thing I've ever seen in trading. It's a tie now anyway with the options activity. So I should be long pick here too. So market profile composite. Composite's just multiple days, 2 or more days merged together. The more days you have, the more powerful it is. Came down here, volume event. Should be long that. So I'm gonna just don't really want to have 3 strategies on, but that's what I gotta do here. So I'm trading all these live accounts now too. We've got $10,000, $20,000 accounts that are all live. So I'm trading the Apex, trading live accounts, making mistakes left and right until I get used to doing everything. Hold on here, pick is 231.
CS long validated.
Right. I actually missed the pick, so I'm not going to chase it. I had a chance. I got 2 of them on it anyway. I've got the Izzy and the Algo, so that's fine. So again, this is 2 examples today of, when I first started seeing this stuff and doing webinars on it, the big money has to hide their orders nowadays, right? Because the algos, these are algos, and they pick up big size, and if someone drops a big order in the order book, they run it away. So the big money doesn't want to have to chase their prices, so they hide their orders. The CME allows firms to pay extra. You could actually even do it as an individual trader, but it just costs more money to. It only displays a portion of your order in the order book, and the rest is hidden until it's traded into, right? So like, for instance, this, why is this, by the way? Well, that's the bias. I could have potentially drawn that. So I don't like adding icebergs just to get to thresholds. So I have certain thresholds for each market that I trade. Thresholds meaning tradable volume. But this is, this basically cut off at the minute mark. I have this on reset mode. We'll go over that. But this was threshold, so I'm going to draw this because it's going to allow me to trail my stop and lessen my risk here. So this is the zone drawing tool. I'll get into that. That's part of what all this stuff is on the chart. Hold on here. This was by ice. So again, I used to have to draw these things by hand every single time, and it was absolutely brutal. And the guy in my trade room, a developer, he figured out a way to draw this stuff on chart, and you can draw them manually too. So the way you draw these manually, and this is in my course as well, when this thing starts to spike is where it started, right? So obviously over here it started to trigger some bias. You see that sell bubble, market bubble into the iceberg. Then another one came in, actually that was there. This one did not trigger any ice, or this would have spiked. Then it spiked here again, so this is probably too big right there so far. And then these are all inside. And let's see what else is over here. So this is actually extended here, up all the way up here, right? So Could you imagine me doing this? I mean, if you've watched my webinars the last 7 years, I used to do this every single time I draw the zone. So now it's a huge pain in the ass because I'm so used to the zone drawing tool. But that's the beauty of the zone drawing tool. You can, it draws the zones automatically, but if you have to draw them manually, you can adjust them. It's very easy. I'm not going to edit that. That's only 26. So I'll use that for the iceberg zone. And now I can trail my stops. So this is how I trail my stops. I don't trail my stops because the market is in my, moving in my favor, and I want to break even if it comes back so I don't lose money. I mean, again, the market does not care what. By the way, this is an A+ reversion here too. We'll go over that too. The market does not care what you want to lose or don't want to lose. The market cares about volume and volatility. So I trail my stop based on recent events. So this is A+ reversion. We'll go over that. I took a sexy Gexie here a little bit ago and lost on that. I held it into the number and of course got burned. Don't hold into numbers. So I did that just to sacrifice for you guys to teach you not what to do, or what not to do, I should say. All right, so this event, the stop is actually right below the zone, so I will stop out of these longs if it comes back here. So I trail my stops based on new events, right? So I'll get out of my trade as it tags important areas. We'll go over those, but how I trail my stops is waiting for a new event because, again, my stops are based on something that's happening in the market, not my self-imposed stuff, right? So that's the stop for this. That's what these lines are. We'll go over all this stuff that's on the chart. 2377.3. I gotta sit here and funnel through 5 different things. 23. I forget what I said here. 2377. All right, that is working. One account. Right, what am I doing here? That's no way that's the right price. 2377.2. Sorry guys, I just can't be making mistakes on these accounts now. Like, the Apex is one thing, yeah, it's real money, especially when they're live, but my good friends backed me for $200,000 after seeing how, what an edge this is. So I can't be forgetting orders in the order book. So yeah, so my stop here is 2377. I don't know why I'm struggling with this price. It just looks like it's too close when I put it in the. Yeah, that's right. All right, and then so we have different trades, right? So on this webinar, I'm going over these different trading strategies, right? So again, trading strategies are just my important areas that I look for trades. So again, as we cover this stuff, I'll go over this stuff. Right, so my main driver of my trading are the stop iceberg events. That's what you're seeing on the chart here.
CS long retested.
I just want to see what's going on with this guy. So I'm looking for these events. Then I have 6 distinct setups, SI setups.
RTY short validated.
All right, I'm about to get stuffed out of the longs, but I trail my stop. I'm just seeing if I can take this short here. Let me get out of these two. All right, I'm out of all those. What did I just fill on though? Oh, I filled on the A+ reversion. Hold on. So guys, you got to bear with me. Like, I've got to get used to trading all these accounts. I'm literally trading like 20 accounts now. I mean, between the 10 strategies. All right, so I entered an A+ reversion. We'll just go over that real quick here. So I have trading strategies that look for bigger moves, and then I have trading strategies that are more scalp that traders gravitate to, right? Because they hate sitting in trades, and you got to learn you got to condition yourself to do that. But There is a scalp type trade. Again, I used to be one of the biggest scalpers on the planet, trading in and out of the order book, right? And obviously I made millions of dollars doing it at the time. Well, if I'm not doing it, that should tell you something. It's probably pretty damn hard nowadays, and it is with these algos, right? So I was one of the fastest clickers on the planet, not as fast as a computer. So my point is, there is a way to scalp, and it's trading we call it the reversion trade, and that's another one of my courses that I teach, and I teach in my trade room, where we're trading for the ridiculous propensity to come back to these volume events. There's already been like 2 or 3 today from the very little zones that we've had, right? So here's one, and here's one earlier in Nasdaq, which actually helped facilitate one of my trades we'll go over. So these markets so often will tag the ATR. This one was the tick. That's why we have the entry for so the dotted lines are the ATRs. So the dotted lines, that's the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATR. In this case, it tagged the 1 ATR basically to the tick. That's the actual ATR, and then back to the zone. The ATR is just telling you its average true range. So it's telling you how much the market's rotating every 5 minutes. I use a 5-minute while there's ATR, and then back to the zone, you're out. That's the trade, right? So I took the same trade here, but this trade's an even better trade. It's an A+ reversion, meaning it's a move. Hold on, I'm gonna put this on this.
Kellogg says Russia attacks undermine Trump's peace initiative.
Here we go with the headlines. Here we go. Put this on this other account too. So my entry was for the 1 ATR is right there. It's an A+ because it's back in a prior event, and then my stop's way down here for it.
So that's U.S. envoy Kellogg again saying the Russian strikes threaten the peace effort pursued by Trump.
Now we just gotta hope we don't get headlined out of the trade. Headline roulette. 2374.3 is the stop. It's already trying to stop out. All right, stops in on that. So anyway, there's different trades you can take, and I'm trying to take too many of these, obviously. So I'm playing on this account. This is a trading firm as well that I'm doing this stuff for. So I take sexy Gexies and reversion trades on this account. So that trade's in. My entry was there. 1 ATR, the stop is here. So quickly, this is what this zone drawing tool, this is what all this stuff is on the chart. So first of all, most of the stuff on the chart is algos and the heat map, right? So you can turn that off if you don't like it, like that, right? I want to see it on there. Yeah, it hurts your eyes until you get used to it, but I want to see where the liquidity is. And you don't have to watch their games. You could do this, and they have Bookmap has a filtering option now too. I don't really use that yet, but that's what that is. And then the rest of the stuff is basically just the zone. The zone is here. Then I have specific rules for entering my trades. So position trades, for most of them, I wait for the market to push the ATR out of the zone, ATR plus, to enter the trade. And then if I do enter, so if I enter a short here, which I have to look at to see if I want to do that, which I should already be doing. If I enter in here, my stop is all the way up here, right? And I understand R and it's risk reward, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, when I first started trading these things, I was putting them in right when I got the event. I would jump in the middle, like I say, oh, that's buy ice, I'm in, right? And then I would have lost in this case, right? Then I would wait, okay, I broke the zone, I'm going to get in right there. And then I put my stop right here, and then I would get swiped out. So all these rules that you're watching are 8 years in the making, right? So again, when you watch 3 million of these things and you come up with better rules, I'd love to hear them. But as of right now, from how many of these I've watched and traded, it's the best way to trade them. So anyway, I lost what I was saying here. Let me just make sure this is not a short here. So this is close to a failed balance breakout. This is the best position trade in trading, right? When markets break out of balance, this is a little balance from last 2 days. Try to break out, comes back. High volume node is the middle of a balance area. If it breaks that area, then just think about it in common sense terms, right? If you say you're long in here, like I was a little bit ago and just got stopped out, right? You're like, oh, I got it. Wait, no, I don't. And then it's like, oh, crap, I got to get out, right? So that's what drives that trade. It's the best position trade in trading. The problem is this entry is right at that, so I'm going to wait for another event to take that trade lower if that happens. So I'm not going to take that.
President Zelensky says that security guarantees
Here we go with
are to be set on paper next week.
Here we go with the chirps. So again, guys, this has been the norm lately. And another trade that's closed, I'm talking about the headline roulette. This is right on this too. So it's the entry. I'm not going to take a pick trade here either. A pick trade is a market profile composite trade, right? So because the entry is right on it, if I get another event and I get my entry inside of it, then I'll take that trade, right? So pretty important what happens here. If the lugs break and get new lugs, we have strategies for that. If we break inside here, and then we have a potential FBB. So even when you lose on trades per se, a lot of times it gives you information. You don't want to concentrate. I learned this from SMB. They're more stocks, but I was training with them when I got back in the business 2017 because I didn't even want to trade futures just because I was so jaded from PTSD from making millions in these markets and ES and then couldn't make a dollar.
At the bottom of the hour, see the release of the weekly EIA.
So anyway, two of the biggest things they harp on is one, you don't study your losers, you study your winners, right? Because you're never going to have a reason for every loser that you trade that you put on. Right? Sometimes you can figure out, like yesterday, I posted on this Twitter, and we'll get into this bitching in a little bit. Like, sometimes you want to know the reasons, right? So yesterday I posted a couple of these trades, or these movements, right? And this is the new game in the middle of the day. We'll get into this again because I'm going to bitch the entire webinar to get it off my chest. This is unbelievable. It's literally right around the 8:30 mark. So this chart's Eastern, this chart's Central. So they runs up here. There was a stop run in Nasdaq, but point is this thing. So Brett from SpotGamma talks about this all. This is the real-time options flow, right? So the new game in town is these traders, whoever's doing this, loads up the dealers because they know the dealers have to hedge, right? The dealers are not directional traders. So they load up the dealers. That's this blue line. When this moves $1 billion or more, it's very, very important because the dealers got to turn around and hedge with the futures. So look at this move. It went from $2 billion to basically 2.2 billion to 400 million in minutes, right? And look at the market. And this isn't even, actually this was SPX. I meant to show the SP 500, but it did the same exact thing. The Nasdaq has the same stocks in it, you know what I mean? So this applies to the Nasdaq as well. Anyway, this thing turned over. So the S&P is the biggest options complex on the planet. So that's the one is the driver for all these things, except for Russell and Dow. They don't really react to it as much. But the point is, this is the new game in town. Watch your ass, pardon my language, around that time because you can have the best trade on in the world and you're toast when they start playing their games. My point on that was, you don't want to concentrate on your losing trades, but that one you could say, hey, I want to pay attention to that hero. If it starts to rip, $1 billion, I'm out of my trade, something like that. All right, so I'm trying to get stopped out of this reversion too. So I didn't take any shorts off this yet, and then the other this is a lot of stuff's happening here where this market may get smoked now, right? So Algo guys trying to pull. We use this for strategies to filter for some of the strategies. I'll go over that. But at this polls, we call it Algo guy for a reason because these Algos love to play. This is an exponential moving average cross. These are just longer term time periods. These are shorter term. When this thing crosses, you get the Algos that pile in. So that's about to happen. So that's going to be bearish if that happens. I mean, this market's trying to hold here, but again, if I lose on this trade, so once, like I was just saying, you don't concentrate on your losers, but if I lose on this trade, it's giving me some information, right? Because this thing should hold. If it doesn't, it's going to be probably bye-bye for Russell and the rest of these markets. Speaking of which, I'm still not filled on my sexy Gexie. We'll go over this trade here in a second as well. Let me get this off here.
Trump on Truth Social says
Here we go.
on Chicago crime.
Now Trump's coming in, so now I just got to hold my breath and hope he doesn't say something against my position. Guys, this has been the new normal. Zero Hedge even wrote about it. I showed the article a couple weeks ago or last week. It's been literally, the hedge funds are going through the same things we're going through, right? You're in a trade, Trump posts something, blown out. Tariff headline, blown out. Sometimes they work for you, but for me, I'd say it's about 90% are against me. I don't know why. That's just the way it is. But it sucks, right? It's like you're in a great trade and I know these are markets, but it's brutal because you can't see it coming. It's one thing if you know like a number's coming out, you can delete your orders and wait. With that stuff, you have no idea because if you knew if Trump announced, I'm going to say something in 5 minutes then you can delete your orders, right? He doesn't announce anything. He just, rolls out of bed or whatever and posts on True Social, and you're screwed.
1 minute remaining for the EIA natural gas exchange.
Speaking of which, I will get out of half of these sexy Gexies. The way I trade these sexy Gexies, so this is one of the few trades I will enter. We have 3 strategies that I'll enter smack dab in the middle of the zone. So this was a stop run. Usually that's just retail traders puking into Gex levels, right? So you had blind spot 10, enter Q, and then you had the QQQ, which is also the blind spot, but that's just, his blind spots are the QQQs. I'm talking about Fabio from Mentor Q, and then SpotGamma was right here too. These are probably the same exact thing. The point is, I got a member important area. I got a volume event at that area. So my point is, the dealers are going to be reacting here. They have no choice. Like, they have to hedge at these important areas. Does it mean it always just holds? No. If someone bigger's coming in here, it could blow right through here. But if I get a volume event that's opposing, so in this case, if it came up here with buy stops, it's usually a fade because it's not initiative buying, right? It's usually guys puking. Or sell ice. So if I would have got sell ice, I would have taken the same trade. So this is a perfect example too. If you have an edge, you keep putting it on. So I lost earlier on the Russell one.
Natural gas, which is here jumping, gapping up to the other
So you
side.
got natural gas. That was in the trade all day yesterday in that market. Talk about, you want to weather yourself for the nonsense, the whipsaw nonsense. Natural gas is the king of manipulation and nonsense. When nothing else is going on, it's brutal. But I had winners in there yesterday. Anyway, this came up here, gamma wall. I got sell ice. I jumped in right there. And again, I held into the number and I got burned. But the point is, if you have an edge, you just keep putting on the trade. So I lost on that one, and I put this one on. It's not a winner yet. I mean, I haven't been filled on any of it yet, but I just keep putting them on. Again, you keep putting them on until you hit your loss limit for the day. Some days you're going to get blown out. It's been a very difficult trade the last couple weeks, in my opinion, right? So if you keep putting them on, if you stop out for the day, you just shut it down. There's always another day. I know it's easier said than done, but that's why you find a broker that will put a stop in place. And actually, I'm trading all these live accounts with this broker, and they have that option called Tradier, right? I'm going to be putting stuff on there, my courses and stuff on the thing. But so this is the one I'm using. I just deposited. My buddy just deposited $200,000 for me to trade on there, right? So they will put the risk limit. They have like an initial 60%, and I'm like, I need it a lot less than 60%. So I told them I need it at 10%, right? That's max. You shouldn't be losing more than 6% in a day, but you can kind of monitor yourself. But if you hit 10%, then that means they liquidate you and you're done for the day, right? That's what you need, guys. I'm telling you, I've told you guys a million times, you have to have that or you're going to blow out your accounts on a day that doesn't make sense, right? So again, show it every day. Most of your trading days are like this: make a little, lose a little, make a little. It's just like a chart, right? And then you'll have an awesome day. Then you go back to that. You never have that because you cut yourself off, right? So you say, I'm done for the day, and then back to that, and that, and then that, and that. And that's how an equity curve builds, right? So if you think trading something different, you're in the wrong business. It's not, you're going to punch a clock and get paid every single day. You can average a certain amount based on your size, right? But you're never going to get paid every day. So you have to stop yourself. Here's the flow patrol, by the way. We'll go over that. You got to stop yourself when things aren't making sense. And the last 6 months, a lot of things haven't been making sense with all these headlines. Why does Russell just always have to do its own thing? So this is, this should have already retested the zone. This is probably going to get blown out, but I'm not going to get out of the trade. I'm just going by my experience. This had so many chances to get back up here. Usually it's straight back to the zone. Again, if I blow out, there's probably going to be a new event, and I'm going to be going short. But you can see, guys, you can see these algos. This is what these algos see, exactly what we can see now with this iceberg stuff and stop runs. There's nothing going on here. Look at the algos in here, just whipsawing traders to death, right? It's just, that's why I only trade when I get my volume events. All right, so I'm sick of looking at that market, so we'll just let it do its thing. So this looks like something, this is trading off. You can usually tell, especially in this MarketPulse stuff too. By the way, I'm seeing some, for my trade room, I'm seeing some really, really interesting stuff with this pace of tape. Nothing's happening right now. But usually you can see the market, the speed of the market, like you could tell something was said somewhere, right? So again, by the time we hear it as retail traders, it's too late. But the point is, you can at least know, hey, I just got blown out of the trade because someone said something somewhere, right? At least keep your sanity. This was yesterday, so I will go over the flow patrol today as well. On here, because I know I'm jumping from thing to thing, strategy to strategy, but again, I'm trading live and multiple strategies.
The UN Security Council meets on Friday on France, Britain and Germany, triggering the process to reimpose sanctions on Iran.
Speaking of which, let's see what we can do here in this Nasdaq event. So I should already have all this information. So the beginning of your day, you need to be scanning these markets in your areas, and so when the volume events start firing off, you're not going back to charts like, wait, where are we, right? So where are we on this chart? So what am I seeing? It's on the structure stuff, right? So the structure stuff is the core of my thesis, meaning my guess of what's going to happen in the day, right? It's just a guess. So you can see this thing tried to break out, came back, held the high volume node of the balance, which is just the node of a balance area, and is holding right now. That is extremely bullish. So the way I trade with my guess, so say I got a bullish event and this event might prove bullish, then I can trade double size longs, which I will, right? I don't like the selling tail right here. That's instant rejection, but it did hold this guy within. You had selling tail or buying tail, buying tail, buying tail, and build a balance yesterday, right? So as of right now, this looks very bullish. It's got to contend with this stuff with traders that are caught in any longer term traders that want out when it gets back up here. But right now, this looks very bullish. So what does that tell me? That's just a guess. If this event still has not shown its hand, meaning I force these markets to push the ATR out of the event, that's the blue line on this zone drawing tool. That's that. So that's a pretty high ATR, by the way. So it's 34 is a pretty decent movement, right? So anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. If it moves out of here, then I can take longs and I'll take those double sides because of my thesis. If this moves out of here to the short side, then I can take potential shorts. I'm probably not going to take any double size shorts here, but if this event, if this balance breaks, if it does one of those, I'd say line in the sand's 23,600, then I will be taking double size shorts. And you can see here too on a bigger, this is all fractal, meaning it's, you have balances inside of balances. It's the bigger balance, right? Watch for that as well. I'd say 23,550s for that one. If that breaks that, then this is probably going to do one of these, right? And talking about the flow patrol, this was interesting. I noticed this right off the bat here. Where did it go? So you get it emailed every day. They email it to you every day. So I noticed this right when I opened it up. And I'll show you what I did yesterday. It helped me with gold too to trade a bigger size, right? Extreme gamma and open. These are individual stocks. Bearish tech flows. Bearish index bias. Moderate bearish. And then he goes over single stocks. Then he goes through the sectors, right? So yesterday, so I didn't see anything that crazy today. Except for this, right? Technology. So guys are loading up on gamma, aka puts, right there. So that is telling me something, especially if the market starts to break down. So yesterday, right? So if this area breaks, watch out. Structure-wise and options flow-wise, right? And then we have the real-time flow too. So this was yesterday. So I saw this, and I'm like, that's interesting. Huge exposure, delta exposure, right? So then I posted this on Twitter as well, or X. I keep saying Twitter, right here. So this is what I'm talking about, a thesis and confluence. So with my stuff, this was breaking out of balance. There was heavy relative volume. That's one of my prerequisites to take the trade, or one of my ingredients to take the trade, breaking out of balance. There was a bullish event right there, and this was actually an event too. This is a hot knife through butter. It's another strategy where the market keeps tagging the ATR below and can't go. Once it breaks the zone, you can jump in right when it breaks the zone. Again, one of the 16 strategies. This one was a whopper. Of course, I missed that because I don't like easy trades. I like torture trades. Anyway, this was an FBB. Took that. A breaking away trade. I took that. and which was that breakout of that. So the first event when you break out, which was that, and then I trailed my stop and got out of some Eric X1. So the point is, when structure meets options meets real-time volume events, now you have yourself the best edge you can possibly have in trading, right? So let me put this in here too. So this is to get the flow patrol. You get it for free until September 5th. I'll post that in the YouTube too. If you guys got questions, throw them in the YouTube channel, please, because I don't see the Discord that often. What is going on with this damn Russell, man? If you're going to stop me out, just put me out of my misery. It's so close. I don't know why I had a notification here. All right, still alive on this, but it's not looking real hot. Another trade I can take is the back in black. So say I did get stopped out of this one ATR reversion. That's the one I took over here, this A+er. A+ is just taking the reversions that are back in prior events as long as the stop's outside of it. That's where that stop is here. Another one I can take is back in black. So say I did get stopped out to the tick, which will probably happen because it happens 15 times a day. Say it holds here and starts coming back, I can take the reversion, the backdoor reversions coming back here. So we'll see what happens. I could pretty much still do that if it starts coming back. I could put this on right now, which I'll do. All right, so see how it kind of bounced off this Gex too. So here's the 3 reversion. Is this a 3? You got stops coming in here. So here's the stop for that ATR reversion. So now I got 2 reversions on. I got the A+ and I got the back in black. And of course Russell just can't ever just follow these markets. So everything else is ripping. What do we got here? 2 stop runs. So this is back to back. So I'm going to combine these, right? So you got to use some judgments. You had 187 and another 237. So 450 stops ish, or 410, 415. Right, so now fix the zone and start to look for different strategies. This is technically, so I stopped out of that sexy Gexie too, by the way. So that's 2 of them I've lost on today so far. So again, for my individual accounts, I have my stop loss. So if I take a couple more losses in sexy Gexies, I'm just not going to take that trade anymore, right? I'm done for the day on that account. And the other thing too is this is now a bullish event. This first one, right? Tag the ATR. So if this comes back, retest, confirm, I can take a specific trade called the bark trade, bark and lick, blind, ATR, retest, confirm. I'll go over that too. Then I have an A+ reversion brewing here too, right? So here's your 1 ATR or your 2 ATR, 1 ATR, sorry, to right in the middle of that event. So if that comes back, I'll take that just like I took it in Russell that I've been sitting in for a half hour now. Why do I have this on? So quickly to just go over this, right? I started to go over this when I got sidetracked before. This is the event. This is the event. Just going over what's on this chart because everyone just rips me. Oh my God, you're looking at too many things. It's just you guys. I trade. The core of my trading is simplicity, right? I know this doesn't look simple, but once you understand it, it's very simple. I don't complicate things with 55 indicators. This is not 55 indicators. All this is the heat map showing the volume, which is just the dome, the depth of market, right? Again, you can turn that off. And then all you see here are the areas where I'll put on my trades. So that's the event. If I'm going to go long, here's the ATR. First of all, that's the blue line. That's that. Then if I'm taking longs, I force the market to push out of the ATR because, again, the propensity for these markets to snap back at the ATR. That's why we have that trade. So here's the entry, here's the exit. If I go long, if I go short, here's the entry, here's the exit. Then you have the reversion lines. So I'm talking to you who was ripping me yesterday on that, because I'll find his name. He said he was going to join the webinar yesterday because he's like, what is that monstrosity? And then you have the reversion lines. This is the 1 ATR short, the 2 ATR short, the 3 ATR short. And then you have the stops for the ATRs. That's the dash dotted red line, right? Here's the 1 ATR entry. If I were going to take that, here's the stop for the 1 ATR. Here's the 2 ATR entry. Here's the stop for the 2. Here's the 3. Here's the stop for the 3. That's all that's on this chart. This is not a bunch of technical nonsense. It's just entries, and you can turn this stuff off too, right? So if I don't want it on my chart, I just come over here, turn it off. If you don't want to take the reversion trade, you take them all off. And I'm taking them off the wrong part. So this one's for the chart. This one's for this stuff down here, right? So I can take them all off if you don't like them. There you go. Does that help your eyes? So you don't have. I mean, and then these are the Gex levels. You can turn those off too if you don't. You shouldn't turn them off because it's so important. But that's all that is, guys. It's not that technical. So where's my guy so I can call him out on the webinar for yelling at me yesterday? This guy right here. This is what I go through. I need to have thicker skin, but it's like, you know, I'm trying to help traders, and then I get my balls busted. You know, I ain't pardon my language, but it's insanity. It's like I'm trying to show people what's driving markets.
Iran snapback sanctions.
There you go with more news too. Right here, this was the post yesterday, and then I get stuff like this. Not that guy. I don't know. I can't find it now, but. I can't find them right now, but guys, the point is I'm trying to help you, showing you this stuff. If you don't believe in it and you can't look at the chart because it hurts your eyes, then don't look at it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to help you. All right, someone in my room just texted me, so I'm obviously missing something somewhere. Let's see. I'm still in this Russell somehow. I mean, this feels like it's going to be a complete loser. Again, they usually come straight back to the zone, but again, it doesn't really matter. Of course, right when I start talking about it, because there's a camera in my office, it swipes down 30 ticks. So that's my stop for the 1. That's my stop for the 2. Again, as far as shorts, I didn't do anything off of this because it's just it's right at these areas. If I get another event, then I'm going to enter shorts. This is right here. This is such an important area, structure-wise, right at that high volume node, right? And then these other areas here that I've already shown. That's not good that it's hanging below that lug. You can see the CVD is moving lower. I don't trade CVD. I just stopped out of that. It's giving me the finger today. Russell is. But again, I just stopped out of the reversion. But now, if I get an event, I mean, I guess I could enter this short right now, but I'm going to wait for one more event. But thesis-wise, it's about to break that balance that I just showed you, right? You're breaking back into this. It's about to form new Ludwig levels. That's bearish too, so this market may get smushed today. Again, I didn't enter up here because that was still on those areas. So if I get a new event, then I'll trade it. So this is my MO2. Probably stop to the tick here, and we'll see what happens. All right. I don't usually concentrate that much on Russell, and this is why it's so annoying too. It's like Nasdaq's going straight up, but Russell's got to sell off. It's just such a strange trade lately. All right, on to this event in Nasdaq. So they start off great. Caught this. This was just to go over this trade real quick. Market moved up. We had bias. Just another example of the big money's not always right? So took that short out of there. This was an Izzy at the time. So I have a variation of the Izzy. So Izzy's are my inflection zones, right? So you can see, stopped right in this zone where important things happen. I waited for this was breaking out of balance, so I don't like taking these. So these inflection zone trades are where you take fade trades, right? Just one of my important areas. I look for the Iceberg events. In this case, I didn't take it first move out of the volume event because you're breaking out of balance. But if it shows me move out of the volume event, a retest, confirm, then I'll put it on. And that's exactly what I did. So I had an Izzy there. This is the pattern. It just keeps happening. That's the ATR reversion, by the way. I didn't put that one on again because that one was a winner. I don't like winners. I just like put on the losers lately. ATR retest, confirm. So that's where I entered. My stop was up there. And then I started to piece out of the trade as it moved lower down here. I think my entire trade room caught this trade because they were all talking about it. I got a Summit Gex 3 because it was struggling. And then I got out of the rest, all of them down here. You had these, and then you had a Ludwig level. So that's usually my main target are these Ludwig levels because they're so powerful, right? And it did form new ones, but at the time it was kind of bouncing around here, right? So I got out of the full position there in those Gex levels. So, and then of course it turned around. So that was actually a good exit. This was a slug here. I'm sure that's what my room is telling me. Yes, they're saying NQ slug. So but this is a perfect example, right? I know how powerful these Ludwig levels are. Do you see me short right now? No. I have to see this volume event prove bearish. Then I'll go short, right? So this guy right here. Right here, those other markets going off right now. I just don't have time to trade this stuff. So anyway, I want to see this prove bearish, meaning tag the ATR. Then I'm going to take the slug trade. All right, now you got some clown show stuff going on here. Buy stops, sell stops in the middle of nowhere. Hold on, I just got filled on some, probably a resting order that I didn't know was in there. That's my MO, leaving orders in the order book. So that wasn't an actual, I shouldn't have put that trade out, it was from earlier. All right, so anyway, got a new event here in Nasdaq, just a weird, in the middle of nowhere, sell stop run. But I will still take, as long as the most recent event, or actually even this event, doesn't prove bullish, I'm going to take a slug short, right? And if it proves bullish, meaning hits the ATR, then I can take certain trades off of that. So I'm waiting for it to show its hand. Then we have reversion trades, so you can take reversion trades as well, right? Again, so guys, the point is, it's not to come in my room or get my course and be like, oh, I'm going to trade every single one of these things. I could trade every one of them because they're my strategies. I've been trading for 25 years, right? You know, as a trader member, or if you just get the course and you're trading on your own, just pick one, two, or three of these in the beginning and say, oh, I like the Ludwig levels. I'm going to take the slug, and I like that Izzy trade with his Izzy zones, and I'm going to take he said the FBB was the best position trade you can take. So I'm going to concentrate on those three, right? And once you get really good at those, then you start to add them in. You'll be like, you know what, I like those auto fade where you're jumping right in the middle of the zone. I'm going to start taking some sexy Gexies. Then you get really good at that. You're like, all right, now I'm going to add some reversion trades, right? So the point is, I'm showing you all these strategies is not to take every damn strategy, right? There's no way you're going to do it right away. I keep getting this alert, and I don't know what it's really annoying me. Can't find it. All right, I'm sick of watching this market for a second. I just see what's going on in that gas. Since it tortured me yesterday for hours. So you got a bunch of sell ice. So guys, you know, if you're trading off a chart or whatever the hell you're looking at and you don't have this information, you don't have all the information. I don't care if you're a good trader and profitable trader, you don't have that information. Wouldn't you like to know that this market's moving up, but a ton of sell ice is coming in right here? Right? If you're just staring at a chart, you're like, oh my God, this is breaking out of this balance. I want yes. And then you say, if you know this stuff and it confirmed bearish, you're like, no, I'm not taking that long, which it just did, right? So I would probably combine all of these. Sorry, probably missing this trade, but and this just goes to show you too, guys. I'm just going to X out of these because it's those, right? So that's the area. Those are all inside this. So this is an Izzy short that I can take, right? An important area. Easy, Bookmap Bob. So the market broke out of this balance, well away from there, into this inflection zone, one of my areas, with an event that now is bearish. So I need to be going short Mr. Natural Gas, Izzy, 29.43. I wasn't going to trade natural gas, but I just need to stop watching the clown show in the equities right now. Right. That's working there. That's working there. So again, and then the other thing about this, the zone drawing tool, it shows you your sizing. So I'm risking $500 a trade, both on the Apex and then these live accounts, right? So for the to put on a position trade, I can put on 0.9 of a big one, or round up to 1. And again, if you have the option to trade micros, I would trade 10 micros so you can get out of some as a market, so it's not all or nothing when you get out of the trade. And if I'm doing the reversion trade, which I could have done, it's pretty close, but yeah, I should have put that on. I could put on 2.4, so I would probably round it up here. Let's see, especially the market's so bullish. So, you got to make decisions here. Usually for the webinars, I just take back in black, so backdoor reversion. So I want to see it tag an important area and start coming back. You can see the 1 ATR is just below here, but if I would have caught this, I would have put this on. It's close. That's the strongest Gexie level on the board too. So this is 100% going to come back to the zone now because I missed the trade. 100%. As the camera in my office, and they buy right now and watch it. So I missed that trade, but that could have been a reversion. I would have taken that if I was quick enough. I was on the chart. I just missed it. Alright. So I don't know what Russell's doing today. I mean, it is just literally hanging here. But again, if the next event lower, I'm trading double size shorts. This thing's going to be in deep doo-doo. And then the other thing you can watch for here too is if this guy breaks. This is a bigger balance. I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but that's still, balances are just traders placing bets, two-sided trade. That line in the sand's 2360. So if that were to break, you have current balance breakdown through prior balance. That's called breaking bad. That's another strategy. So you can see, you pick what makes sense to you or what you like, and that's that trade. Current balance breakout through the high volume node or the preceding balance. So any of these, I'm looking for a volume event though. Oh, by the way, 100%, like I said, it's like I'm psychic or something. Missed the trade, straight back to the zone. There's your reversion right there. All day, every day. I got this alert is driving me crazy, and I don't know where it's firing off. It's supposed to be flashing on here, and I don't see where it's flashing. Really annoying. I'll find you. Hey, you guys got questions, throw them in YouTube. They got to find a better way to show where this alert. So on this stuff, on this alert page, you can see everything that's going off. It should say where your alert is. It's like I got to sit here and. All right, we got crude stops. Let's go over there. I'm sick of watching the equities do nothing. All right, so volume event. I should already know where we're at, right? So I'm ready to go when I get the volume events. What do I see here? I see smack dab in the middle of a balance area is what I see. All right, so nothing as far as opinion thesis. If it breaks out of this, then I'd probably trade double-sized longs. If it breaks down through this, I'd probably take double-sized shorts, especially when that guy breaks. If it breaks, I would definitely take double-sized shorts, right? So no opinion doesn't mean I don't trade. I'm just not going to trade bigger size. What area are we in? Are we in an Izzy zone? No, it's in between Izzy zones. So that trading strategy is off the table. Let's see what else we got. So this day needs to be merged. Another example of the market profile composite stuff. These were multiple days. We're going to move as long as 50% or more of a single day is overlapping, then you can merge it. So I'm going to merge that. There you go. Let's change this. So it's smack. This is just a different look at the balance area, right? Smack dab in the middle of this guy too. So there's no pick trade for me here. I trade the edges of these things, so meaning looking for volume events on the edges. So nothing to do there. Nothing to do Ludwig's. We are at VWAP. I don't trade VWAP. I trade standard deviations of VWAP. We have a trade for that, where you're looking for this is what these algos do, right? It gets to these extreme standard deviations. If there's nothing going on, meaning there's no big money plowing through here, they just snap it right back. Right? And how you tell that is through relative volume, right? So you can see there's really nothing going on relative volume here. So that's when the algos just take control of the market, right? That's my other map, by the way, here. Very important to watch that because, like, say, for instance, there's heavy relative volume. I won't take sexy Gexies and stuff like that because Again, the options dealers will be hedging at these areas, but they'll get run over because there's someone else bigger is playing. So there's really nothing position trading area for me to trade, but that doesn't mean I can't trade. I can take a reversion trade off the gamma wall, right? So let's say it tags that. I'll take, because you can take them aggressively, meaning as the market moves into them, I wait for it to tag for something to come back because I just can't keep track of all these because they're nonstop all over the place. I watch it 15 different futures markets. Or I can wait for one of these. This is the strongest Gexie level, by the way, and you see how it held the first time down here. The dealer's hedged, nothing going on, or, I mean, it bounced off that. If it comes down here again, I can take that reversion. So I'm going to put these two alerts in. Hopefully I'll remember where they're at when they're driving me crazy, firing off. There's one here. So I know if it tags it, then I'll jump over here and put the trade on. Other than that, what's Algo guy look like? The Algo guy is bearish right now. Short-term blue is under the long-term red. So I have a trade for that because I want to trade these events regardless if I can, because the edge is inherent in the stop iceberg event, right? So it doesn't even have to be an important area. This trade is called bark if I take this trade, right? What's bark? Blind, meaning it doesn't have to be in any specific area. It has to move an ATR out. Look at the games they're playing in here, by the way, with the liquidity. This is one house, too, that just runs a show in here. It's just ridiculous. I mean, when nothing's going on, and they're full force right now, whipsawing. Anyway, blind. See how it's pulling and putting in and pulling? That's one house playing games in here. Anyway, see that? Guys, it's just so important for you to see like how manipulated these markets really are, as far as just one or two, or most of the time, like a big entity. This guy is just putting in and pulling orders, and it's basically the entire. See that? The entire order book. I'm so glad we caught that on the video. I see it all the time. He's probably watching this damn thing and screwing with us. Anyway, because this is what I'm talking about. If you understand this stuff, even we're not trading off of that, but at least you keep your sanity. When the market's doing this, you're like, oh yeah, they're just playing their stupid games, and then their game that they play is the price change algo. This is MarketPulse. I'll get into that. Sure, that thing's at full force today, and it is. I usually have these colors different. So again, a lot of this stuff will just keep you sane why it's doing what it's doing, right? So this is the 5-minute price change algo. You get part of the MarketPulse is part of the MBO data package where you get the stop icebergs. It should be in standalone. That's how powerful it is. We'll go over some of the things on that, especially today because nothing's going on now. Anyway, you can see every time this thing does a price change, it spikes. There's one here. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there. So it's like, again, you could trade off this. You got to be very fast. And it's great until it's not. Like if big money comes in here, it can price change for 200 ticks. But most of the time, like right now, nothing's going on. We looked at the relative volume. You saw this guy, this jackass playing his games in here, because there's no spoofing allowed these days. Because that's spoofing what he's doing, right? Meaning he has no intention of getting filled, from what I can see. Anyway, that's the game right now. So if you know that, if you're in a trade, you're just like you understand what's happening, and you're not losing your mind getting whipsawed. Anyway, back to the bark. So I want to trade these events no matter where they're at because the edge is inherent in the event. The event is loaded up traders, right? One way or another. So I want to take advantage when the market moves away from there. So a bark is a blind ATR retest confirm, meaning, so say it moved out that right now Algo guy's bearish, I need that for a filter. Touches the ATR, which is a whopping 11 ticks right now. Retests the area, confirms back out, then you take the trade. And again, I used to take these no matter what. Now I use a filter, Algo guy filter, meaning this has to be in the direction of the bark trade. Bark and lick is the same trade where it's the same exact trade, but you're just holding until heavy resting liquidity in the order book. Anyway, this needs to be in that direction. So this is bearish right now. If it crosses, then I can take bark long. But so if this goes ATR retest confirm, I can take that trade to the downside, right? So we'll keep an eye on that while this jackass plays his games in there. Alright, it is just completely dead now, guys. So if you got questions, now is the time to ask. ATR reversion trade is working for me almost every time. Well, it doesn't work every time, but it's an edge, guys. Nothing works every time. That's what you need to understand. If you have an edge, you just keep putting on the trade, right? All right, so I got stopped out of the 1 ATR and the A plus, but it looks like the 2 may work here. So of course I had the 1 on those my shiny brand new accounts and got stopped out. But this is for example, right? I've lost on 2 sexy Gexies so far. I lost on the 1 ATR. I put on the 2 like I was supposed to. Here we go, right? I'm gonna watch this too. I'm probably gonna get out of. I got 3 on here. Again, if you got gamma levels right in front of your exit, you might want to get out because it's gonna. The dealers are gonna be hedging here, right? So if it starts to struggle, I'm gonna get out of at least 1 or 2 of them. I'll see if we can get back to the zones. Let's kind of judge here. Here's the newest thing I'm watching, by the way, this pace of tape. Actually, I don't even have it set up here, so I'll set it up for you to show you guys. It's part of MarketPulse. I've seen some real interesting things. I was looking at it all night last night. So they've got, MarketPulse, speaking of which, so this is what, I still use this is tick strike. So again, guys, everything I'm going over here, let me just put this in case I'm showing something and miss it like I always do. Here, let's get out right in front of that guy, if it makes it up there. So this is tick strike, right? I've used this thing for 15 years. So that is, so this is all in that link I say right here, tick strike. So all this stuff, everything in here, you get discounts too, right? So click on this. Hurry up, you got 3 days. I hate all these places that use these timers. It's just such nonsense. Anyway, you get your 7-day free trial. Try it. I still use it. It's still important. But anyway, I talked to Bookmap. This is now probably 4 years ago. And I said, you guys need to get a version, a better version of this. Because this is great, but it doesn't show you any history. So they came up with MarketPulse. They literally built MarketPulse for me. And it was originally just supposed to be like one algo. That's this. Right, so you can see here all the so it used to be it was just the volume, pressure, and balance. Volume, pressure, and balance. And balance is just the net of between buyers and sellers. That's what this is, right? Then they just took it to their own ridiculous brainiac level, and they've added all these different algos, which are, I mean, I'm getting into one by one, but this is the newest one that I've been seeing some pretty insane things. I really don't want to go down this rabbit hole because I haven't studied it enough, but it's like it doesn't take, that's one of my gifts, right? One of my gifts is seeing edge or seeing patterns, right? That's how I took off in the first place. So let me just show you a couple of these. I shouldn't be doing this because again I need to watch it further, and I don't want, traders are already confused with the stuff I've been doing for 8 years. I don't want to be, whatever you're showing, I don't understand that price change thing. Like here is a good example yesterday down in Crude. Just the pace of tape, not even actual volume traded. Okay, let's look at this down here. So I have a set, this is just the default setting for pace of tape at 5 minutes. I may change it, I don't know, this is brand new. I'm just noticing some ridiculous things about it. Market comes down, there's sell ice, and that's part of the pace of tape. Someone's buying, triggering the sell ice. But the point is that things at its lows, and there's no pace of tape to the downside. There's pace of tape, pace of tape, pace of tape, and then look what the market does, right? There's another one. So again, I wouldn't just be trading this on its own, but in important areas, just like the SI events, you want to trade them. You see this thing. This was gold. Look at all these pace of tapes to the upside, and look what it does. It's very interesting. Again, you guys are seeing stuff that most traders don't see. There was one other really good one in natural gas because I was sitting in that piece of what all day yesterday. Here's another one. So I was long this market all day, literally from like 5:45 my time, right? So that's 7:45 all day. This was a move a little earlier into the open, but you can see like it came all the way back here too. Well, look what happened up here, especially at Gexie levels. Do you see any pace of tape to the buy side? So you'd probably want to see that in the Gexie levels and as the market moves higher, right? So this can help you. So we talk about in my room all the time, like I get out of certain areas. Well, this can help you judge, hey, is it going to blow through here? Well, look at that pace of tape. There, meaning the speed of the orders are coming in to the downside. There's nothing on the upside. I'm out. Or I'm out of some, right? You see what I'm saying? So again, that's brand new, but that's what you get from MarketPulse. This little piece of crap couldn't get up here. So let's get this set up and see if that happened up here, by the way. So you go in here, Russell's really, really, really annoying me today. Go to MarketPulse, we're already there. Hit create, right? It's already on. It's already on price change. So that's the other algo I showed you that you can use. Go to pay. I use pay. The imbalance is when you get net. That's what I want. Paste the tape imbalance. Hit play, and then you can change your settings in here. I use all default. It's 5 minutes. If you want to load historical data, you can do that. We can do that. Let's just move it back 3 hours just to see what it was doing. And it's going to take a couple minutes to load, but we'll see what it did up here. So the point is, it's not like a standalone per se. You're not just every time the thing blips, you're trading it, but you can use it to judge. And I'm trying to change these colors for each one of these algos so I know what the hell I'm looking at. Because again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like if you look at this subchart with the icebergs and the stops, and if I bring up, say I get price change on here, like you're like, what the hell? What's all this? I don't understand all that. You're using so many indicators. When you understand what you're looking at, it's not a big deal, right? It's just, you can turn them on and off too. For all you people that yell at me because of my charts. I'm telling you, I'm the most simplistic trader you're ever going to meet as far as I'm looking for volume and volatility. That's what I trade off of. So, I'm not using this to get out of the trade. I'm not even using this for anything yet, but I'm just observing. But you can see it came up here. There was nothing up here as far as it came down here. Now it's coming in again. But the point is, you can use this to judge in areas. If you don't see any pace of tape coming in, get out of some. I just got a hero alert. The thing that drives the entire market complex lately, the option flow. Let's see what that was in. So again, usually we have a trade for this too called the Flowbee right there. So this was the equity. Equities aren't as reliable, and he explains why. I forgot why he said it, but this is the main one you want to watch. I have these up just to know. So this is moving higher. You get an alert in equities. Usually when this flattens out, then the market turns over. This is the one you want to, that's the main one you want to watch for the SpotGamma hero. Again, guys, and like I said, in this flip book here, everything's in here. Here, click on that. You get the use Scott 50% off the first month. Here's your method Q levels, monthly, yearly. Oh, you got to remember to turn off the sound here too, or you'll literally be driven. Once you set up that, so it's the pace of tape. Turn that off, or you will lose your mind. Here's Apex. So we even got an Apex. Again, I'm still using these, but this is a great, and I've been using these for years. It's a great way to, especially if you come in my room and you're learning stuff, don't be risking your own money. I even tell friends that I golf with that, if a couple guys that are in here in the trade room and they want to learn it, I'm like, do not trade your own money until you know what the hell's going on. Why would you? So you get Apex, right? Use my code. That's my affiliate code. That's a thank you to me for showing you this stuff, showing you the best edge on the planet, right? You plug that in. Of course, it's not working. Why would it work? So, not sure why that's. There you go. Right, and you can get these things. Another hero alert. And practice, not a game. Practice. Right, you come in here. So as this scrolls off the page, for instance, you get the 150. That's what most of mine are. You got to make $9,000 before you lose 5. You got to be careful because it's a trailing 5. So if you get up $8,900 and then you pull back $5,000, you're still at 4,900. You lose the account. But if you do well, then you're funded. Hold on, what's going on here? Let me guess. Everything's rallying, but except for the one market that I want to rally, which is the Russell, and it's probably going opposite because it's the bizarro world in this market. It's just so strange. I know it's different stocks, but come on. All right, so NQ. This one, we're getting hero alerts too, by the way. So I would be careful. I don't have that as one of my factors of not entering trades. But if I keep losing, like for instance, say I go long here and I know hero alerts going off and I keep losing on them, I'm going to start to use that as part of my trading. I have a trade for hero alerts, but I don't necessarily skip trades because hero alerts going off. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just fleeting. But again, it is coming more and more the most dominant force in these markets. You want to pay attention. You don't want to be fading it when it's firing off, and you keep hearing it fire off. Let's see what's going on there. So that was the equities. Let's see if we got anything else. No Qs. Futures is going the opposite way. That's weird. Mag 7. So again, I have these up, but this is the main one you want to watch. And you did not get a flow alert here. You got one earlier, and the market did turn around, right? So I'm not sure where that's firing off, but all right. So again, there's not much going on here. I would have gone along that if we got the ATR retest confirmed. That was. What other area do we have here? Did I probably missed a trade here because it's a winner. 23,650. Yeah, I mean, it was an event, but this is not how I trade my IZZs, right? Like, the market came up here with buy stops. If it would have retested that event, I would have taken an IZZy trade, but there was just nothing. I'm talking about this guy, and I could have put on barking licks, but I just don't. If I don't get my pattern or my setup, then I don't make the trade. If it did that, I could have put on barking lick and IZZy off of that. I could still put on barking lick off of this, but I need this to go, and this is the prior ATR here. So it's about, if it tags that and comes back to this guy, I could put that on, and then if it does that, I can add to that, right? So we'll see what happens here. Again, the markets are just standing still right now. Usually, besides the hero flow, these markets just sit around and spin in place until there's a headline, and then you get your head ripped off. So that feels like that's what it's waiting for right now. So I don't know what I'm doing in Crude here. It hasn't shown its hand. We already went over this trade. Why is nobody doing anything against spoofing? It's a good question, Icebreaker. It's supposed to be illegal, but you can see they're doing it all day, every day. What's spoofing? Spoofing is when you have no intention of getting filled, right? You're just doing it to scare the market around. I don't know. It's supposed to be illegal. So I used to be one of the biggest spoofers on the planet. This was 2003 to 2005, right? 2002 to 2005. It was legal back then, so I would play. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, this stuff is not hypothetical. Everything I'm teaching you is stuff that I learned as a very large trader, right? When I was loaded up with positions, aka volume events, right? The games I would play, showing you this stuff. Like, everything I'm telling you is not me like guessing. It's what I used to do to the market. So again, I go over this all the time. We got another puke in Q. All right, so this guy's officially bullish. This one, that's that ATR. This guy's close to being officially bullish. Then we have another event. So let's see where we're at off this most recent event. So this is an IZZy zone, but it's been sitting in this inflection zone for a while. So this would be variation number 2, where I'll take a fade trade. Here's another one. It doesn't matter, it's through there now anyway. Hey, Russell finally retested. It only took 14 hours. Pigs. Actually, I didn't even retest. I got out of one there at the Gexie level. Here, I'll get out of one more. Again, it's close enough to my exit, and I'm right at gamma levels. You see these spot gamma, and you see the gamma wall. These are the same many times, obviously, right? That and that. I got them both. All right, I'm just going to get out of this. I've had it even looking at this damn market. So a great example. You have an edge, you keep putting it on. I took the Gexie loss earlier. I took the 1 ATR loss, turned around and put on the 2-1, right? Yeah, that was the 2. And that was off Gex 2 at the time. Remember, bounced off here. I got in right there. My stop was down here. So, perfect example, guys. If you have an edge, here we go. We'll give you the weekly rant. Straight out of trading in the zone. You need this internalized or tattooed to your forehead. 5 truths. Anything can happen. You don't need to know. And I put in as a straight out of trading in the zone with Mark Douglas, one of the best trading books out there. The newest one I'm re-listening to, is a daily trading coach by Dr. Brett. He's the one who turned me on to Bookmap and got me back in the game. I'm in his book, Enhancing Trader Performance. Anyway. That's the one of it. It's not even a new book. It's been out for years. Called The Daily Trading Coach. So important. You can get it's about the mental side too. Right there, Dr. Brett. And that's his other book, which I need to reread this one too. It's been such a long time. So this is the book I'm in, right? I'm the entire afterword of this book and throughout it. So get those books and make yourself a better trader. Anyway. This is Mark Douglas. Anything can happen. You don't need to know, or do you know what's going to happen next in order to make money? I don't know what's going to happen. I know I have an edge. I put the trade on. This is so important. Traders don't understand this, or they don't want to understand it. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables to find an edge. Random. Most trading is random, so you're going to have losses and you're not going to know why. You just keep putting it on. If you have an edge, and I'm showing you the best edge in the history of futures trading, in my opinion, then you keep taking the trade. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. And every moment in the market is unique. So I don't care how good the edge looked. What does that mean? I have a trade on and it looks great. I've seen it 5,000 times, and then Trump tweets something and I get blown out. So every market moment in the market is unique. I got to decide if I'm going to merge these. 816. Yeah, I mean, these are 30 seconds away, so I'm going to make this one zone. So on the zone drawing tool, that's in this, that's in the Bookmap Marketplace too. So that's because this is all in here, right? Everything I'm showing you isn't. This is why I made this. I made it a better look. It used to be an ugly spreadsheet. Right here, zone drawing tool, Bookmap Marketplace, right? So anyway, you get that, and you can draw the zones manually. You can move them around. You just get in the middle and you hold T or B. So bottom, I want to move it down and scroll it down. Right? Oh, and also, you guys got 2 days left for that blue jacket competition, which is just going to make you a better trader. I told you guys that last week, and I tell my trade room to post their trades, every single trade they make, if they want to get better. That's this guy here. Three months Global Plus. Share your trades on X, Instagram, or LinkedIn, and then hashtag it, and then you can win the Global Plus. And if you're in my room, you should be doing that anyway. Why don't we take a little peek? Who's going to be teacher's pet today in my trade room? Let's see. I already know who the usual guys are. Hey, look, it's the same guys every day. Oh, are these the guys that are making money? Yeah, it sure is. Curious B, Nick, Craig, Dune Runner. He's the king teacher's pet. He actually did a webinar for me last 2 weeks ago. I couldn't make it in there. I can't remember. I think it was internet or I had a family emergency that day. He took over for me. That's how, again, I want everyone to be like this. I want this to be like our own trading firm where everyone's sharing the trades, because Dune Runner's probably saved me. I've missed so many trades, and they'll be like, hey, he's been doing it all day today. We're at the lug. And I mean, Curious did it too. So if we get 50, 100, 200 people in here pointing stuff out, you're never going to miss a trade. You're going to learn. So this is what you do, guys, if you want to get better. So you do it in my room, or you do it on the blue jacket stuff. Here's one of the newest strategies, Yellow Brick Road. That makes me laugh when he puts that up. So there you go. So teacher's pets. Craig, Dune Runner, as usual, Nick, Dan's very active too. Dan, I did it, and you want to see it, go to my YouTube channel, by the way, if you want to see Dan. He was really excited to be on camera, but he did it for the good of the trading world. All right. I'm just showing you guys that there's nothing going on right now. We'll go back to that stop room I was just sitting here. So go over here in the back of this flip book. Right here is my cartoon face. So let's see if we can find it here. This is a mentoring session with Dan H. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Here's Pam. I did with Pamela Ludwig. These two, if you want to watch how she uses lugs. This was like 4 years ago. Here's the Apex, the video I did 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Where is it? Was this year, wasn't it? No, right here. Mentoring with Dan H. Right? Here you go, Dan. I'm sure you'll love that. So guys, this is what, this is me explaining structure in the FBB trade, the Breaking Bad trade, right? And all of a sudden, when was this? This was in January. Dan's in here participating, and I'm sure he's doing okay. Especially, again, guys, if you've not been killing it or even losing money in the last few months, it's understandable. It's been very, very, very difficult trade. But you do have pockets where you kill it. So, by the way, this is A+ reversion that I'm going to take. So anyway, that's on my YouTube channel. Go watch it. So my point is, he's gotten better because he's been in there. He did the mentoring session with me, and he's been in there posting his trades every day. And if I see something he did wrong, I point it out. Or someone else will point it out, and that's how you get better. You got to participate. Fill on this. I'm just hoping I'm not. This has happened to me the last 2 times I've taken this trade, the A plus in Nasdaq. At this time of day, I've gotten my, you know what, handed to me. I was going to use a different word than ass, by the way. This could be it again. See that? See the hero? Just went from 1 billion to minus. So it's just dropped $1.5 billion, and this is right at the time of day. I just posted it yesterday. I'm probably gonna lose on this trade too. You can't predict that, guys, but I could say what I do tell you guys: don't trade between 10:30 and 12:30. My exact words. Well, tell me if this sounds familiar. Well, would you look at that? The usual 10:30 to 12:30 central load up the options dealers. So I took the A plus reversion right there yesterday and right through everything. Went right through the gamma wall, right through this event, and stopped me out. And I'm just like, what the hell? Because they work, it feels like 90% of the time. That's why they're called A plus. Then I look over and it dropped $2.5 billion. So they're doing it again. Just went from 1 billion to minus 2.5 billion. You can't, this moves like a market. You can't predict that. I want to know a better way to look at this. I don't know why he has this flow data. I've asked him on his webinars and I don't really get a response. There's got to be a way to kind of see this as it's unfolding, so I'm not seeing it after the fact and saying, oh yeah, I just got ran over. Oh great, the hero just, oh now I know why I lost because it just dropped $1.5 billion. Well, I'd like to kind of get a heads up before it does it, right? So anyway, this is, same trade. I'm telling you guys, if you don't trade between 10:30 and 12:30, you will save yourself. Again, I've lost millions of dollars in this, and just the mental energy you have to spend staring at these markets at the time of day. This is the same game. I need to be short here probably, right? Oh, I was already talking about this, so I was going to go short Izzy, but I need to see an ATR retest because we've been sitting in the zone. Let's see what else. I should already know this. I was just assuming nothing was going to happen, and then I forgot about the dealer manipulation. The dealers aren't doing it. Someone's loading up the dealers and manipulating the market. Again, it's the newest game in town. I would have done it back in the day if it would have been that important, the options market. So was this a pick? I don't think this was a pick either. Yep, sure was. So that's a pick. So we had a volume event. And right into this guy. Important area. That pops back, I'll put it on. 550. 4401. Damn it. Alright, I missed it. New event. It's my own fault. I'm showing you guys stuff. I'm thinking the market's dead, and then I forgot about the market manipulation coming in. By the way, I'm out of my. So if I'm in a reversion trade, right, and I'm waiting for the thing to come back to the zone, and I get a new event, I'm out of that trade. Like, I'm not hoping it comes back to this event if there's a new event. So they got what they wanted. They puked this thing. They got this down. Guys are puking now. Let's see what this is at. Look at this guy. I cannot believe. I mean, I can believe it because it happens every day. I'm going to post this too. Look at this. It's like, how is it this easy to manipulate markets? But again, I would be doing the same thing. So just say you sold a bunch of futures and the market won't go anywhere. Then you're like, okay, well, how about I just load up the dealers and make them sell their futures as well? Look at this. Same exact thing. Almost the same exact time of day. So I want to draw that as a middle finger right there to these manipulators. But again, it sucks, but at least you know why it happened, right? I need to get this stuff in here, by the way. Oh no, I got out. I got out because of that new event. All right, so guys, I had one winning trade basically, and I've taken a couple of 3 or 4 losers. It's just the way it is today, right? And you can't really control the manipulation. You just got to hope you're not in the way of it, or it's in your face. But usually it's opposite of the market, right? So I showed him the other day. He didn't respond to this one because I think he thinks I'm full of shit, but I'm not, because, pardon my language, because I'm watching this stuff for 25 years, and I'm the one you used to manipulate the markets, so I know exactly what they're trying to do. That was a Floby. Just showing you one the other way. It was very recent. Where did that? I know I posted it. Can't Oh, these are always pleasant too. The lucky guess icebergs that come in right before numbers. This one was before the grain report, literally 10 seconds before the number. And then buy ice and then rip 30 cents. So keep an eye on that. As again, you want to know where the big money is playing. If you don't know, you don't have all the information. All right, I can't find it, but I'm going to put this one up too, bitching about that. It's amazing, especially again they know when they can do it, right? They know when they can load up these dealers and play these games. This is right at the time period. This is 12:30 or 11:30 in New York, right? They start going to lunch. Then Chicago goes to lunch. Then it's algos and manipulating options dealers to the cows come home. Again, this is all from experience. It used to be that a couple big traders in these futures markets would start this game at this time. One main one to go watch that ASFX video, and you can hear all about his games. And then he ended up getting banned from this CME like 2017 for his spoofing and everything else. Go watch that. It's a good video of me ranting. All right, guys. So this is just a kind of a screwed up day, and now you got manipulation. Don't trade between 10:30 and 12:30 Central, and you make yourself a much happier trader. All right, I do this every day in my trade room. Come on by. I went over all this stuff, most of it. Where's that? Just quickly here. So I posted this in the YouTube channel. All right. So the course this is my main stuff. These are the strategies where I look for the important areas. Here's your ATR reversion course. You can learn this in my room live too. It's just going to take you longer. Drawing tool. This site's not functional right now, but you get this stuff as part of my trade room. Here's my trade room. Just click on this stuff and you get access to it. Here's the discounts for Bookmap, the MBO bundle. You don't get a discount for that, but you get a discount to Bookmap. Here's the Apex trading funding. We talked about that a little bit. Pulcini 50. Use that code. That's a thank you to me. How about giving a thumbs up for the video too, guys? Like, I'm not asking much. Give a thumbs up. It helps Bookmap. Method Q, yearly, monthly, SpotGamma discount. Tick strike discount, trader sick discount. By the way, we got something coming out here too. One of the members of my trade room has developed an AI journaling. It's going to be ridiculous. So that's coming soon. Ludwig Levels talked about that. YouTube channel, website. If you want to email me questions, Twitter, YouTube. Here's a podcast that goes over my story too. This was done a few years ago. Here's my reviews. So there you go. I will see you guys next Thursday. There's an A+ reversion, by the way, brewing here that I will take when they manipulate the dealers back up, like they did yesterday. Same exact thing yesterday. I'll take that one. All right, I'll see you guys next Thursday. Thank you.